2 more suspected drug overdose deaths in the city of St. Louis.
City police have confirmed 5 people fatally overdosed in 2 nearby locations.
The death toll has now climbed to 7 from what appears to be a lethal strain of fentanyl.
Who died last month after ingesting fentanyl.
EMS respond to 4 overdose patients on Winona Avenue.
Once a thriving hub of culture and industry, St. Louis now faces a devastating crisis. Overdose deaths have surged by 79% in recent years, leaving families torn apart and communities in despair. The opioid epidemic has gripped the city, but through this documentary, you will hear how we can solve this problem and work together to make St. Louis City a thriving place once more. One of those ways is with naloxone, or by its brand name, Narcan.
What naloxone does and other drugs like it are they actually bind to opioid receptors in the brain and knock the opioid off that receptor.
While Narcan is more widely recognized now than it was just 4 short years ago, it still isn't as accessible as it should be. Many communities, especially those in underserved areas, still struggle due to its cost, lack of awareness, and limited distribution. To effectively combat the opioid crisis, Narcan must be readily available to all individuals, regardless of location and socio-economical status. Expanding access can save countless lives and provide a vital tool to fight against addictiveness and overdose deaths.
Like the resources out there, Narcan and a lot of those have been like, it's hard to get for some folks. Right? Like we can get it in abundance and some people know where to get it, but getting it out there and having people understand what it is and how to use it on a wider scale, I think would be super helpful. There's lots of people that have addicts and alcoholics at home and not sure what to do and stay up late at night trying to wonder if they're going to die tonight or not. And the thing with Narcan coming out when it did is because nowadays, which is very different than say 10 years ago, with the prominence of synthetic opioids like fentanyl, because they're so deadly, having Narcan has saved, I can't even tell you.
To ensure that all law enforcement officers across the country are going to be equipped with naloxone?
That's one of the things that's critical, is to make sure that these officers have it. And we set forth this through a number of grants that have already come out to state response funds to make sure that states have the discretion about the best way to give it to the law enforcement or the first responders.
I think, talking to people who are in treatment programs, people in law enforcement, it can prevent a death, but it may not save a life. If the person continues to use afterwards, as somebody put it, eventually they're gonna have an overdose, and it won't be someone that has naloxone. The DEA in 2022, the fentanyl-laced pills that they were testing, over 6 in 10 had a fatal dose. You're dealing with people who are creating these fake pills. There's no quality control, there's no safeguards, and the message I would want to get out to younger kids as quickly as possible is that you can't trust. Don't take a pill from your friend. Don't take a pill from anyone. That's for your doctor and your parents. It's not for anybody else.
Go into treatment, but they also distribute clean needles to reduce the spread of viruses such as HIV and hepatitis C. Naloxone kits are on hand in case of an overdose. One study found that opening the site has reduced overdose deaths in the area, and more than one analysis showed reduced injection in places like public bathrooms where someone can overdose undiscovered and die.
After thorough research, as well as numerous interviews with experts in this field of medical studies, my group's final message to the President of the United States would be lowering the price of Narcan and other life-saving drugs nationally, as well as implementing nationwide educational classes for how to use Narcan effectively, as well as drug safety on fentanyl and other addictive drugs that can kill people with such a small dose.